Right now on Upfront.
Wisconsin's fentanyl crisis.
That it is an absolute threat to our communities, to the citizens that live in our communities.
The state justice department asking lawmakers for more agents. Some parts of the state seeing historic and dramatic spikes in drug seizures. Our guest this Sunday, the special agent in charge of the Fox Valley's Drug Task Force. Then Congress returns. Democrats choosing Chicago.
And it will be Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's convention.
Senator Tammy Baldwin making her re-election official. Democratic Congressman Mark Pocan ahead on 2024, a Biden re-election bid, and his opposition to banning TikTok. And who's in and who's out? Are you going to run for Senate? I'm curious, are you considering a run for Senate? J.R. Ross, editor of WisPolitics.com, his new reporting on the Republicans eyeing a Senate run in the GOP's attempt to unseat Tammy Baldwin.
This is Upfront with Jaron Jordan and political director Matt Smith.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. A busy week ahead. We begin with new staggering numbers from Justice Department officials. The state DOJ now asking lawmakers for 19 new agents as part of the next state budget, in part to address a dramatic rise in drug crimes involving fentanyl. In 2022, the Lake Winnebago Area Metropolitan Enforcement Group seized about 6,300 grams of drugs containing fentanyl. That's a 4,400% increase from the year before in just the four-county Fox Valley region of Outagamie, Winnebago, Fond du Lac, and Calumet counties. The task force, in partnership with the Justice Department, includes 15 law enforcement agencies, and now the special agent in charge is giving Jaron a rare look inside.
What we're seeing right now, specifically looking at fentanyl and the seizure of fentanyl, is something that we're seeing really skyrocket in communities all across the country, including right here in southeast Wisconsin. I want you to kind of take us beyond the headlines there. We see these staggering statistics, we see these headlines. How bad of a problem is this right here on the ground?
Well, heroin and methamphetamine are certainly still a major threat to the communities and to the citizens within our communities. Over that past 12 to 18 to 24 months, we've seen this, quite frankly, very scary and alarming trend, as you mentioned, with the emergence of fentanyl in the communities. I believe that fentanyl is absolutely the #1 drug threat to this geographical area, being the four counties I described before, that our unit covers, as well as every single community across the state.
Describe the two images that you have here.
There's this one here, which was just a sample of a seizure that was made in the LWAM area of responsibility. This particular one was in the Northern Valley, and this is just depictive of what powdered fentanyl might look like. Like I had mentioned before, fentanyl can come in varying shapes, sizes, forms, whether it be in pill form, like this. These are counterfeit prescription pills, basically pressed fentanyl pills. They can look a variety of different ways.
Some pretty staggering statistics from LWAM and the Department of Justice. 4,400% spike in fentanyl seized from 2021 to 2022. It should note that there was also included in that a single 12-pound seizure. But even without that, a 500% spike from year to year in the fentanyl that's seized. What do you attribute to what we're seeing in this spike?
Well, it's clearly a major issue, and as far as the statistics go, what we've noticed is that exponential rise. If you were to put it on a graph, the end of that graph is spiking rapidly. As you mentioned, in 2022, we saw a 4,400 approximately % increase from the previous year. Prior to that, it was 227% more in 21 than in 2020, and 62% more the previous year than that. To put it in perspective, so far in 2023, through the first 3 months or the first quarter of the year, we've seen 360% more than the entire year of 2021, which that's 2023, 3 months, versus an entire calendar year of 2021.
What does that tell you about moving forward?
Well, the next step in analyzing that is in that same 3 months, it's 1,300% more in the first 3 months of 2023 than the same time period in 2021. What it tells us moving forward is that this is a true community problem. It's not a flash in the pot. That it is an absolute threat to our communities, to the citizens that live in our communities, and we need to make sure that we're doing what we can to take care of our communities and providing our citizens throughout the entire state of Wisconsin the information that they need in order to protect their families and take care of their children.
You're talking about some crazy exponential increases here over the past 3 years, the numbers that you just cited. Who is being impacted by this?
Generally speaking, there's not a single community in the entire state of Wisconsin. There's not a single community, township, village, county, or large metro area throughout the state that this issue is not negatively impacting. I would feel very confident in saying that the individuals, the groups, and the organizations that are distributing these drugs, and they're toxic. It's distributing poison to the people that live in our cities and counties and communities and villages and towns. We need to make sure that we're holding them accountable for their criminal actions and aggressively investigating the people that are putting this poison on the street. These organizations that are selling fentanyl-containing products, whether it be powdered or pill form, are causing people to die, and they're killing our communities, and they're doing it for profit.
How did we get here?
That's an interesting conversation. I'm not 100% sure how we got here. What I do know is that we are here, and that this is an absolute threat to our communities.
From the law enforcement perspective, do lawmakers need to be doing more to get a grip on this as well, to help you out with this?
I think everybody can do more. I think the important thing to acknowledge is that it is an issue, and that acknowledging it's an issue and having these conversations like you and I are having right now, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity to do it, could only improve the situation. So we work towards the end goal of reducing community harm and advising the public on how to help in reducing community harm, how to better take care of our communities, how better take care of our families, and to do it through a multifaceted approach, whether that be additional funding for law enforcement for task forces like ours, or additional investigators for city police departments and county sheriff's offices and state entities through funding measures, and combining that with more active community awareness and engagement. I think if we attack the issue from all angles, we're more likely to see a quicker and more drastic reduction of what the community harm is now.
Do you need more resources?
I think resources can never hurt. As far as our task force goes, if we had additional investigators, I have more investigators to be able to be proactive out on the street and take more of the drugs off the street, so they never are even available to cause an overdose.
The State Budget Committee has one final public hearing scheduled next week in Minocqua. Up next, Congress returns to Washington this week with all eyes already on 2024. Congressman Mark Pocan standing by. Does he want President Biden to run for re-election? Next.